It has now been 5 years since I started the KonMari Method and just kind of my general journey towards minimalism. So I wanted to sit down today and talk to you about how I feel about it now. I did have one kind of revelation along the way that wasn't the most pleasant. I'll talk about that in a minute, but just kind of generally how my life has changed as a result, because maybe you are like me and you do things and it's all great at the time, you're full of enthusiasm, but the effects wear off. So I want to share where I am now 5 years on. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I want to keep this one kind of casual, just a bit of a chat, speak from the heart. Later in the year I do want to put together some clips of all of my, because I have all my videos from like all my KonMari videos, all my decluttering videos. I want to put together a clip or some clips of all of my kind of like aha moments, a bit of a montage, if you will, of the KonMari Method. But yeah, later in the year, that's coming up. But for now, I started this journey, many of you will know this, because I was suffering from postnatal depression. I felt I had completely just lost control of my life. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who I was anymore. Everything was just very, very chaotic for me at the time. The house was messy. My head was messy. It was just very, very difficult for me to focus on positive things back then, and I really needed to give myself something productive that I could do, like something where I could feel like I was myself again, where I could feel like I was making progress towards something positive, not just for me but for my family as well. So these are some things that I kind of realized along the way, ways in which the KonMari Method changed my life. And the first big one for me was that things aren't us. Like, things in and of themselves don't make our lives better. It's about our relationship to things. It's about how we use them. It's all well and good, having things. We can be surrounded by things, but I'm sure you and I both know at this stage that things don't make us happy. Sometimes how we use them can make us happy. How we interact with them, how they benefit our lives, how they make our lives a little bit more convenient. That can certainly bring us joy, but the thing itself is completely neutral. It's completely inanimate. One of the things, like one of the ways that I realized this was that when we moved over here, we obviously had to ship a lot of our stuff and we had to fill out, insurance forms and things, because there was a possibility that we would lose all of our stuff as we were moving over, that the ship would like sink or catch fire or something would happen, a crate would go missing, and we had to be okay with that. We had to really bring the stuff that was very important to us in our suitcases, and we had to fit the really truly important things in a handful of suitcases, and we had to be okay with potentially losing the rest of the stuff. And that's not to say we wouldn't have been sad and devastated, but we had to kind of on some level make peace with that. And it's the same, like even now I still think, if there was a flood, if there was a fire and we lost all of our stuff, we have to be okay with that. Losing your stuff doesn't necessarily mean losing yourself. Obviously it's a very traumatic experience. I would not like to go through it. But if there was a robbery, a flood, a fire, some other like natural disaster where we lost some or all of our stuff, that doesn't mean that we would lose ourselves. Things are not us. So that was a really important lesson that I learned, and it changed my relationship to things and how I perceive things. Kind of like that question, if your house were on fire and your family were okay, like what is the thing that you would save? So yeah, moving over here made me really think long and hard about what are the things that I had to save. But like, what in your life is truly irreplaceable? Look at your stuff and think, is this truly irreplaceable? Like, if I lost this, would my life be terrible because of it? I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be hard to lose it, but your life would still go on. That was a really big realization for me, that potentially I could lose everything and I would still have to be okay with that. I would still have to go on, live my life. I guess kind of leading on from that, the realization that everything is waste. Everything in your life, everything that you have now, no matter how much it sparks joy for you, no matter how much you love it, eventually over the long term, it will end up in a landfill somewhere. Like no matter what you buy right now and how great and wonderful it is, at some point in future, it will be waste. I know that's not like a cheery thing to think about or anything, but it really helped me when it came to particularly shopping, because I found that with the KonMari Method, there wasn't much guidance in terms of what to do afterwards, you know, how to kind of maintain it, how to keep it up, what to do when you were shopping, you know, how to decide what you were going to bring into your home after you had first cleared it out. But this thing, now that I look at things in a store or whatever, and I think, you know, eventually this is going to end up in a landfill. Yeah, it is kind of like a negative thing to think about, but it does really make you, you know, give serious consideration to what you are bringing into your life, and to make the best choices that you can make for yourself, for the environment, all of that stuff. But yeah, that was one of those realizations that really did help me. I know it doesn't sound like a great, wonderful, positive thing, but genuinely thinking of things in terms of where it will end up long term. And I came across this probably while I was, you know, researching Swedish death cleaning, that idea of, you know, decluttering so that it eases the burden on your loved ones when you pass away. So it helped me to think more long term about stuff, like not just in terms of like the joy that it brings me right now, but the joy that it's going to bring my loved ones and just generally the planet afterwards. This then kind of brought me to another realization, which wasn't a pleasant one, but it is that for me, I declutter. A lot of what I do is for other people. That was a really hard pill to swallow, but a lot of my kind of desire to declutter was so that other people couldn't see clutter. Like nobody could come to my home and think she doesn't have it all together. A lot of it is that wanting other people to see me as perfect. A lot of it was about proving myself, not wanting anyone to see me as vulnerable, not wanting anyone to see me as just lacking in any way. So that was a really, that was a tough one. That has been, for me, kind of a very personal journey that I have undertaken kind of alongside this decluttering journey, realizing how much I do is to prove myself, and I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. But even this lockdown, so we're currently in lockdown because of the coronavirus, and it has emphasized that for me, because now that I know that nobody is going to come to my home, I feel a little bit better about house being messy. Like my house is messy right now, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't feel as anxious about it as I normally do, because I know that no one's going to see it. So like I said, that is kind of a personal thing that I have been working on the last few years. Decluttering has helped me to kind of realize that I need to look inside myself. I need to find like intrinsic reasons, personal reasons why I'm doing this. Like I need to do it for me. I haven't quite got there, but yeah, it opened my eyes to that, and it's something that I am working on, and I'm sure we'll have to continue to work on. But yeah, quite eye-opening. Okay, back to positive things then. I will say, like, one of the biggest benefits, and this sounds like such a silly, ridiculous thing, but it is being able to find things when you need them. Like if I want to do something, I know where the things are that will help me do that. Just everything is close at hand, or I can put my hand on it pretty easily, or I can tell someone, as Sam and Scout are always coming to me like, where is such and such? I can't find this thing. And generally, like 9 times out of 10, I know where the thing is. And that is because over the years I have worked really hard at streamlining my stuff and not just getting rid of it so that you know, the stuff that I need is kind of more prominent or whatever, and it's not buried in a pile of crap, but also because I have given everything a home. Because I have kind of touched everything in my home recently, I generally have a memory of where I have put it, or I put it in a place that makes sense. Like I said, not always the case. Sometimes I do still lose things, but overall, it makes finding things so much easier. Look, I know that over the years I have lost things. I lost my original Irish driver's license, like when it used to be on paper way back in the day. And I'm pretty sure that I lost it because it was just in a pile of clutter. And one day, you know, because I got just really fed up with the state of the place, and I would start like shipping things out and clearing things. That's before I like started the KonMari Method. It's just when I was doing regular like rage purges because I was just so fed up of the mess. I'm pretty sure that's where it went. I do have a replacement now, but it made things more awkward for me because I had to go out and pay to replace my Irish driver's license. But I know I'm sure there are plenty of things that I've lost that I don't even know about. Sure, there are plenty of things that have just silently like been lost forever to me. But I do also know that there are some things that I've lost that were important to me or that did make my life more convenient. I know I lost a letter that was very important to me. My previous driver's license, like I said, that I had to pay to replace and, you know, take time to go to the office, fill out all the forms again. I had to go to the police station to sign to say that it was definitely lost. Like, it's just, I can't tell you how comforting it is now to be able to find things, to know where things are. I know where my new driver's license is. And then I guess just in general, it makes life easier. Like, my life is a lot easier now. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend that my home is immaculately clean or immaculately organized or everything. But it genuinely has made things easier. It's made, like I said, things easier to find, but it's also made cleaning a lot easier. When you have less stuff, there's less stuff to clean, there's less stuff to move around to get to other things. It really has made a big difference. You probably, like, if you haven't been through a hardcore decluttering session, you possibly don't even understand how freeing that is. Or maybe you've gone through kind of a little mini decluttering spree and you've got a taste of that. If you have, you will know things are just much better when everything is organized and streamlined and you don't have to like dig your way through piles of stuff to get to what you actually want. You know, if I want to do something right now, I can just start. I don't have to dig through mountains to find my desk or to find a space. And there's a huge amount of freedom in that. It's a wonderful feeling to know that if I want to do something, I can just start. I know it sounds ridiculous, but believe me, if you had seen what I was like in like my teens, my early 20s, it was not pleasant. Like, I had to fight my way to my bed. I had to sleep on a pile of crap because my bed was covered in like clothes and books and notes and stuff. It's been a revelation for me to know that if I want to do something, I can do it. That is exactly why I am launching my new decluttering course, the Clutter Cure-All. It's so that you can experience that freedom too. And I'm not saying you will never have to clean again, but I am saying that when you strip away all of the extraneous stuff, you will be left with so much more space and so much more time to focus on yourself. You won't have to keep like putting things off, putting off that craft that you want to do, putting off that book that you want to read because you can't find it, or like the space that you want to do that in is all messy and cluttered, or, you know, first the place needs a deep clean, you know, that you're constantly thinking, oh, but I need to clean that space first. Like, no. Cut all of that out, declutter, get rid of all the crap, and give yourself that freedom and that space and that time to just enjoy what you want to enjoy. Like I said, it has been 5 years for me now, and honestly, I don't think I'm done. I don't think I will ever be like done. I don't think I will ever reach that point where everything's perfect and I never have to worry about anything again. I am still going to make impulse purchases. I'm still going to make some poor spending decisions or poor decisions about what to keep. You know, I am human at the end of it, but I think I have reached a stage where it's a matter of just keeping up. It's a matter of maintenance. It's not a matter of, you know, being in that awful situation again where everything is so chaotic and I feel like I have to spend days just to get myself back to some sort of normality. If you want those feelings too, trust me, they are worth it, but you don't want to wait 5 years to get them, then join the waitlist for the course. It is linked in the description below. I cannot wait. Honestly, I cannot wait to see everyone go through it, to see the results that you're getting. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Go raibh míle maith agaibh agus feici mé sibh se go luath. Slán.